I want to thank everyone for coming after last week's presentation fiasco, in which I didn't realize there was a password for the presentation. I was stressed out all week. I hit the Zoom help desk line. I did a test webinar to make sure it worked. It was really weird because you're sitting in your home office and you're waiting for the party to start and no one shows up, and you feel like you're a loser or people forgot or they just don't care about you. So it was the weirdest feeling having all these people say they're coming and no one shows up for their parties. If you read my LinkedIn content, I'm fascinated with homepage, fascinated with messaging and brand positioning, and it just felt like a natural training to do a workshop. So a little bit about me. I'm not going to talk too much about what I do, but oops, sorry. Oops. Oh, crap. Let me see if I can. Okay. So as you probably know, I'm a fractional CMO and a strategic advisor for B2B SaaS companies. Worked with more than 100 companies since 2008. And as I said, spent a lot of time positioning, messaging, go-to-market, planning, and tactical execution. And I'm a big-time hockey and tennis player, ex-journalist, recovered journalist, as you can say. And maybe we can start is by doing a bit of a Slido on the biggest issues with your homepage. I think you can either vote at slido.com or you can just message the QR code. And if you want to just chat, put something in the chat that as well. If you want to avoid the technology here. So essentially, I tried to identify some of the biggest issues: low conversions, high bounce rates, not enough leads, bad design, message position. These days, obviously not enough leads is front and center for every B2B marketer, CEO, and an entrepreneur. But just to get a sense of where people are at, if you want to chat maybe faster, that would be great. But obviously, we've highlighted some of the big ones here. Low conversions, yeah, that's a big one here. And what we'll do is we'll go through a lot of sort of the problems that people have. Welcome to everyone who's joining. This is great. Kristen, welcome. Welcome, Kia, welcome. Okay. All right. So I guess the fundamental question is, why are so many homepages at best meh? And there are many reasons, but here are the fundamentals. Number one is they're undifferentiated, the messaging done undifferentiated, or even worse, there's generic brand positioning. Weak value propositions, which we'll get into. Essentially, people, they don't make it clear about why they matter and what they do. A lack of customer research. I don't know about you, but when I look through my LinkedIn stream and I see all the marketers talking about talking to your customers, knowing your customers, that's the theory. In reality, I think a lot of marketers don't talk to their customers on a regular basis or even at all. And that shows up on their homepages. And then a lot of it is, as we'll talk about, it's really about them and not about the customer. And these are just the biggest culprits. So I think you need to go back to the basics when it comes to a homepage structure. And you've got to answer these questions. What does your product do? What are the key benefits? How does it work? How and when would I use it? And how are you unique? And these are just the 5 fundamental questions that you need to answer if you want to educate, engage, and inspire someone or motivate someone to take the next step, to go beyond the homepage and learn more about your product. Because the reality is that 80% of your traffic, 90% of your traffic goes to your homepage. A lot of people never explore your inside pages. So you can't assume that they're going to go places where you want them to go. They may only go to the homepage before they ask for a demo or download something or see how something works, and they'll come back. And obviously, one website visit doesn't often convert somebody into a customer. It considers the fact that in B2B SaaS, there are usually 6 or 7 people involved in the process. Your homepage has to perform, and you have to assume that they're not going to visit other pages on your website. And then the other reality is that I think there's this urban myth about, there's a Microsoft study suggesting that people have attention spans of 7 seconds, average attention spans of 7 seconds, which is less than the average goldfish. And if you look at the reality of sort of testing for homepages, people decide in seconds whether they matter to you or whether you matter to them. And if you don't deliver that crystal clear message, then they'll click away. That's just the reality. So if you wanted to really break down the homepage structure, and we'll go through each of these elements here, but it starts with a clear value proposition, and that's what you do, who you serve, and how you're unique. And this has to be top of mind. People need to see it. They need to feel that you understand them, that you're empathetic to them. And a couple elements, you can either show an image of your product. It could be a screenshot of somebody using your product, or you could show a video. But I'm in the camp of tell and show as opposed to show and tell. So you tell people what you do and why you matter to them, and you show them the experience, because the essence of marketing is really allowing people to imagine what the future could look like. So in your, and you'll see this in when I go through some of the questions here, but on your website, that experience needs to be front and center. People need to envision themselves. They need to see themselves using your product, what the future could look like if they used your product. Second element would be show proof with logos. Then underneath that, the benefits. Below that, how your product meets their needs. How it works is optional. You can have a standalone how it works page. So you could have that on your homepage. And of course, social proof with testimonials. We'll talk about that. And then CTAs, which you could pepper throughout your homepage. That's the overall structure. And this is where we're going to guide our presentation today. Okay. It really starts off with your hero image. And we're talking about a clear value proposition. And I think if people want to mute, that would be great. If you can mute yourself, if you're not unmuted, Kristen, and that'd be great. And you really need to quickly tell people, and this is seconds, right? Remember, people have got seconds to decide what you matter to them. What is your product? What is the problem that you're solving? Who you serve? And how is it better or unique? Not a lot of real estate, but you have to deliver the information that they need. Otherwise, they're not going to explore the rest of your homepage, or for that matter, the rest of your website. There's a lot of pressure. And as I said, a lot of companies suffer from generic or undifferentiated or uninspiring hero messaging. And that's the biggest recipe for someone to click. If they don't see themselves, if they don't feel that you get them and that you could be a solution, they're going to click away. As important, it needs to be distinct. So it's the opposite of generic. It needs to be memorable, something that stands out, whether the words that you use or the graphics that are presented. It needs to be specific. So they need to know that it is about them and their specific problems. And it needs to be tight. And that's just really creative, but succinct copywriting. And it has to be all these things if you want to break through and get people to explore the rest of your homepage. A great quote from Pete Balaja, who says, what gets noticed gets picked. And one of the things that's really interesting about Pete's philosophy, or his thesis on the B2B SaaS buying process, is that most buyers only consider 2 or 3 options at most. And if you're within that competitive set and your homepage doesn't resonate, then you lose. So you're in the game for sure. But if you don't play the game well, then you're not going to be among the final selections. So a lot of pressure on that hero image. And it always puzzles me why so many homepage hero sections are terrible. Like there could be any company, and it could be any company in any industry. And somehow there are marketers out there and CEOs out there that believe that this is the way to go. It's just one of these marketing mysteries out there. So let's look at some good homepage examples, and I'll show you some bad ones as well. So the good are, this is Instantly, and this is a whole AI-powered cold outreach platform. And so the messaging right away on the homepage is 10 times your leads, meetings, and deals. There's no ambiguity here about what this brand promise is. So if you're in the market for cold outreach, then this is what you want. It's all about the outcome as much as the process. I always say that customers don't care how your technology works. They don't care about your technology. They say it somewhat tongue in cheek. They care about what's in it for them and the outcome they're going to get. So with Instantly, this is the outcome, and then they give you some information about what it does. So it scales your outreach campaigns with unlimited email sending, accounts, and warm up. If I had to be critical of this website, it's the use of generative AI. I guess for now, messaging can include AI, but it's essentially at some point in time in the near future is that every single B2B SaaS company is going to use AI. It's going to be a no-brainer. So people are going to assume you have it. You may not have to save it. Maybe for now they do. This is proof. Again, boost your website conversions by 15% in under 15 minutes. This is the play on the Geico commercial. Better insurance quote in 15 minutes. Again, there's no ambiguity here. I have maybe a bit of a critique about the H2 here. Customer obsessed marketing is the best kind of marketing. A little vague, but make your website delightfully human is hints at what they do. And then that's a nice little graphic here with the testimonial actually appearing, or the social proof actually appearing in the header image. So another really great example of someone who's doing this well. Jot and paste it's a note-taking, and I like this one because it's essentially what you get. It's the fastest way to jot down a note, get and paste it anywhere. Like if you don't know what this app does, then you're missing the point. So it's almost like keep it simple, stupid. I don't mean to be derogatory in any way, but people don't want to think. They just want you to tell them what they need to know right away. The more you make them think, the more grit in the process, the less successful you're going to be. So they're not so good. Let's look at some examples of messaging, homepage messaging that doesn't work. So these are older examples, but I wanted to show you what the real world looks like. These are all accounting applications. So you've got QuickBooks, you've got Xero, and you've got Sage. And QuickBooks is all-in-one business accounting software. Xero is accounting software for small business, and Sage is simple accounting software and online bookkeeping. I guess they're pretty basic, but that's pretty generic. It's okay, this is what you do and what everybody else does. And I think one of the things you need to think about with your homepage messaging is that you need to be distinct and differentiated. It goes back to the value of brand positioning. So if people are comparing different alternatives, then how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you make someone think, okay, these guys are thinking a different way, they're trying to serve me in a different way? And a good example, if you want to go back to the good, is Wave, which is manage your money like a boss and essentially create beautiful invoices, accept online payments, and make accounting easy. Small business target, who usually are, in many cases, are either single proprietors or they have a small team and they want to manage their money loss. That's the outcome that they want. Yes, they want to do accounting, but they want to feel like they're in control. So that's a really good example of that. Okay, let's go back to the bad. This is Klaviyo, which is a very well-known, high-profile email marketing brand. Power smarter digital relationships. Could be any application, could be any service. Everybody wants to power smarter digital relationships. Who doesn't want to do that? And then you create personalized customer experiences across email, SMS, mobile, push, and more with real-time data and, again, AI-driven analytics. That's so generic. I guess they give you a hint of what they do. But again, there's no differentiation here. It's pretty straight ahead, generic messaging. It doesn't work. This is Pabbly, which has been making a lot of noise. Powerful applications to scale and grow your business. What applications? Like they say Pabbly Connect. I don't know what Pabbly Connect is. Subscription billing, I guess that's true. Email marketing, and they say get access to business critical applications, and they give you a long list. But there's got to be something better than powerful applications to scale and grow your business. There's got to be like, what is it about this company that makes them stand out? And it could be one-stop shopping. It could be all the applications you're ever going to need to run your business. There's something missing here that is simply too creative, too generic, and just missing the boat. Like, they may have a great application, but they're just missing the boat in some way. But there's always exceptions to the rules. So I wanted just to throw you a few curveballs here. This is a marketing agency, and this is their homepage messaging. And essentially, they just essentially tell you in a very creative way what they do, how they're different from big, slow-moving agencies, and why you should consider them. So it's another approach. It suggests that you don't have to always follow the crowd. You can also take a creative twist, and I think that's one thing that's missing in a lot of B2B SaaS is creativity and doing something that's out of the box. Craigslist for years has essentially had probably the worst looking website, the worst UX. If you ask Craig about why they haven't changed it, he just basically says, I've learned that people want stuff that's simple and fast and gets the job done. People don't need fancy stuff. Sometimes you just want them to get through the day. And that's his philosophy about the Craigslist website. So there's exceptions to the rule. The other one would be, this is Berkshire Hathaway. This is Warren Buffett's Homepage. This is a world-class entrepreneur, one of the most powerful financial people in the world, and this is his homepage. And then basically he says, I don't know if it's wink or it's sincerity. If you have any comments about our webpage, and I like the fact that it's capitalized, you can write to us at the address shown above, right? So it's, I guess, different strokes for different folks. You would think that he'd have a little more of a slick website, but Warren Buffett is, uh, extremely well known for his frugality. So he's obviously taking this approach to his website as well. I just want to know if you've got any questions, you can write them in the chat. You can unmute yourself. I want this to be interactive, obviously covering a lot of ground, but as we go, if you've got questions or you've got comments about things that you've seen, that would be great. I'm totally open to people participating as well. So the other thing that I want to focus on is benefits. And I think in a lot of websites, this is missing. And in terms of best practices, like after you tell them what you do, how you're different and who you serve, they really want to know as they go down the homepage is, so what's in it for me? Like that's the ultimate question. And I think a lot of homepages lean into telling them about the product and what they want to tell them as opposed to what prospects want to hear. Because at this stage, you're in the early dating stages. You're so far, especially in B2B SaaS, from getting married, unless you're a cheap and cheerful application, that they need to be convinced that you're going to meet their needs, is that you're going to do what they need you to do to be successful and to get the outcomes that they want. So I'm a big fan of 3 or 4 benefits. The idea is that not all your benefits will apply to every single prospect. Some will love everything that you do and your benefits will apply to them, and some may find 1 or 2 that are applicable. So it's different use cases at different types of customers, but if you have a selection, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to resonate in some way. It's like going to a diner and only offer 3 or 4 options from the menu. One of them is going to resonate with at least with everybody. So that's the assumption. And then underneath the benefits, you can add a paragraph, a little more meat on the bone. Clear, concise, and differentiated. So concise is a word that's going to come out a lot in this presentation. And then action-oriented words: lower, accelerate, increase, improve, enhance. You want people to get excited. You want them to see what the future could bring. And then, as I said, I'm a big believer in product screenshots. It's basically tell and show. Show me what this thing could look like. And that definitely means no stock photos. Definitely no stock photos. I've seen a lot of these upstart AI companies that love stock photos, and I'm just don't think it works at all. So I'll give you some examples. This is a company called Home Run. This is just a really nice design in terms of, okay, we got Alex joining. Sorry about that. So this is a really good example of nice, clean design, showing you what the product does, and then being very clear about the benefit here with the CTA. So there's the benefit, one clear overview for smooth collaborative hiring. If you're an HR manager, this is great. And then the meat on the bone, which is no more wasting time uploading spreadsheets and deciphering CVs. Awesome, great benefit. There's no doubt that this is something that would resonate with an HR manager. This is ClickUp. I really like the approach that they've taken here. So obviously this is supercharger productivity, and it's obviously a multi-product platform. And so what they've done is improve collaboration, enhance visibility, and automate work. So if you click on the different options here, in this case, it's automate work. What you'll get is information about the work automation, and then you'll get illustration or graphic that shows you what this thing actually works, right? So a great way of a really nice design to showcase the benefits in a really elegant way, depending on what people are interested in. If you're interested in improvement collaboration, you go there. If you're interested in enhanced visibility, you go there. So again, giving people options and showing people what this thing looks like. This is, I think, Twist, and this is one of their benefits. And this is actually a video, a GIF on their website that shows you the application live, right? So it's another creative twist here. So not every homepage has to be flat. You can actually use some creativity to get people engaged in the product. Again, they're showing the product here and what it looks like. So just different approaches here too, homepage design. A question from Chris: what are your thoughts on the no sign up marketing content trend or forced lead capture? Talking about if you're talking about the lack of a CTA, is that if you're referring to that? I think there's different approaches. I think that not every homepage has to be hard sell. I think that a lot of homepages, like there's every single benefit has a learn more. Every single feature has a call to action, and I guess it's marketers essentially worried that if they don't tell people what to do, then they won't do it. And I think there's different approaches. You could go no CTA at all, although you probably won't want it at the bottom of the page. And your navigation probably wants something. But I think, yeah, I think you could use different approaches to go there. And Mitch is saying, do you mean to ungated content? I know, oh, Chris says ungated content. Okay, ungated content. I'm a big fan of gated content. There's just so much content out there. There's just so much free content, like accessible content, that trying to force people through your gated content in most cases doesn't make sense. I said probably one of the few exceptions to the rule would be if it's evergreen content that you do. So I would say, unless it's totally original content, I would really lean against gating it. I think there's so many more benefits in terms of letting it free in the wild, letting people share it, letting people talk about it, letting people see it. So I would back away from that. Just another way of doing benefits. This is Fizz. They're a new Canadian wireless company. A little bit of creative pizzazz here. They're trying to be different. The Canadian wireless market is totally boring and uncompetitive. So they're trying to come across as a sort of a rebel brand. And so their benefits are very obvious here. But it's obvious, but the thing about it is that it's completely necessary, because you just don't want people around. You want to tell them exactly what's in it for them, what they get. And this is Pipedrive, just essentially another way of showing their benefits. I love the graphics. I love the customer quote there. So it's a combination of the benefit and the testimonial, which is a really nice way of it's a 1-2 punch here, right? Here's the benefit, and here's someone who's actually rallied around this specific benefit. This use case applies to them. So it's just another way of showing what you do to people. All right. Let's talk a little bit about navigation. Maybe I should have done that before benefits in hindsight. Obviously, once people get to your homepage, you need to make it as easy as possible for them to understand what you do, but you also have to make it as easy as possible for you to navigate the website, to give them clear options in terms of this is what you should do next. Here are the places you should go. So in terms of best practices, again, clear and concise, it's a recurring theme. The reason why it matters is that any grit in the process, any thinking that people have to do, or any work they have to do, it's negative, and it'll turn them off, and it'll give them doubt and inject some hesitation and this is going to be too much work. I just don't want to do this. Structured menus to reflect the buyer's journey. So you have to take a step back and go, what do people want to know or need to know about our product? What are the questions that they'll have? And how do we structure our navigation so it aligns with the way that they want to flow through our website? How deep do they want to go? So it starts at the top in terms of the product and how it works and the benefits and the solutions, and then it gets to who are you, how can I contact you, maybe I'll book a demo. Drop down menus for secondary navigation. Obviously, there's a lot of information that you want to show, so you want to make it as elegant as possible. A footer, we'll talk about footer navigation for non-essential links, and then horizontal for desktop and a burger for mobile. So let's give you some examples here. So this is just a very simple, elegant example from Cognito with the drop-down menu. I like the idea that after you look at their products, then you can do a product comparison. So you can compare them to other players and probably do a training down the road in terms of comparison pages. But a really nice, simple, elegant way. I like the icons there in terms of design. Obviously, design is really important on homepage. This is another way that they do drop-down menus here. Again, and then a nice little link to case studies. Here. Anna, again, drop-down. Just nice drop-downs. This is not as creatively interesting, but still, it's a nice way of doing things. This is a bad example, and I think a lot of e-commerce companies are guilty of this, is that they try to throw everything but the kitchen sink into the nav bar. And so you've got, 12 navigation options here. There's got to be a better way of structuring this thing. So fewer navigation options, more drop downs. This is confusing to me. I don't know where I'm supposed to start with the Mayday or my Counterspace. It's obviously a very successful company, but this is a very busy website and a very busy navigation bar. In many cases, the footer is as important as the top level navigation. A lot of companies, I think, take the footer for granted, and they just slam stuff in there without much thought. But I think the footer has a lot of value, not only from an SEO perspective, but also in terms of people scroll through your site. And I think there's a lot of people expect the footer to offer more information. One thing that drives me crazy with a lot of these companies is that they'll bury the about link in the footer, sometimes even content link. And I think those are probably among the two most important top level navigation options. So if you're not doing that right now, you've got to change that. So in terms of good footers, this is Greenly. I like the design, just nice, really nice layout. There's some social proof here in terms of some of the organizations that they're associated with. You've got Capterra, you've got some of these trade associations, they're certified B. So it just gives you a nice way of not only navigating different parts of their website, but they give you a sense of what they do. There's also a CTA in terms of their newsletter and some social proof in terms of Capterra. So a really nice footer. This is probably just a great footer to copy. Big Green Egg, if you're a barbecue fan, this is just, I like this. In this case, I like the branding here. There's no ambiguity of where you're at. Again, there's a CTA with some benefits. So if you give them your email address, get some tasty recipes and some product launches. And again, the navigation is all here in terms of what you need. And it's just structured here. But avoid this kind of footer. Not surprisingly, this is a US government footer. For whatever reason, governments are really bad at website design and website navigation. And this is not a footer. This is a bunch of links that they've decided to jam here. And I guess, I don't know whether it's just accessibility or whether they're just trying to get some SEO juice, but this is not what I would do. Any questions at all? If you have questions, please put in the chat and we'll keep on going. So how your product delivers. This is really the section in which you show people how this thing is going to work for them. So you show them the benefits of why it matters. And then you're going to get into, okay, so it's specifically depending on your use case or the type of customer you are, we're going to give you some real examples of what you're going to get if you use this product. And again, this is the job of the homepage. Like, it has to deliver all these elements if you want to give people a really good picture of what you're doing. So this is reach your prospects with, this is again, instantly reach your prospects with unlimited warm up. So if you use this product, then this is the job that it's going to do for you. So graphic here of what it does. Another example from Instantly is infinitely scale your outreach with unlimited accounts. So I got a job to do. How are you going to help me do this? Okay, we're gonna scale your outreach by making anything possible. This is a company called Remote that does payroll. And what I like about this is that they give you options here. You can do payroll, you can do employer records. So again, telling you if you've got different use cases here or a different type of customer, here are some different options that you can explore in terms of how the product is going to work for you. Again, home run. Again, if I'm an HR manager, how's this product going to work for me? Oh, I can use application forms for a great candidate experience. So we talked about the benefits of home run earlier, and now we get into the exact specifics of how this product delivers. So essentially, really, these are the top use cases for prospects, or the prospects need to know. So they make it very obvious how this thing's going to work for you. Testimonies are a funny thing because I think there's a perception that testimonials are canned and they're cheesy and they're self-serving, which they are. They're all of the above. There's no doubt about it. And why would you put a testimonial on your website that doesn't make your product or company look as it can? But prospects read testimonials. They subconsciously or consciously buy into testimonials because no one wants to be first. No one wants to make a mistake. People need validation, and they need other people to see other people who've gone before them. And so most testimonials, you can use creativity, but they have to be on your homepage. People need to see this element to say, okay, other people have bought this product and enjoyed it and it's worked for them, and that gives me some confidence it's going to work for me too. So some examples here would be in terms of best practices, short and sweet. No one's going to read a block of content or copy on your website. It just looks like too much word. Different use cases or types of customers. So if they're all saying the same thing about the same feature, not necessarily the best use of a testimonial. Highlight your key benefits or your key features. I'm a big believer in photos or videos. Copy only testimonials are fine, but when you personalize a testimonial, when people can see other people, the testimonial makes it that much more powerful. And they can see people who look like them, and they can envision how it might be if they use the product as well. And they keep them up to date. You should be getting fresh testimonials like every month and just running through your testimonials. It's almost a best of, right? Just keeping like the best testimonials, and you can test them to see what people look at. And then in terms of what not to do, too many testimonials. I looked at a website yesterday. They had 6 testimonials in a block, like 3x3. And it was like, it's like really need to have that many testimonials. You can scroll them, but I'm a big believer in 2 or 3 on it. Faking it, definitely no companies do it. It's so offside. I wouldn't even go there. Overly promotional, so it's unbelievable, right? And then they're too long, right? So some basic case studies here or best practices. And then you look at just in terms of how you can present testimonials. Again, it's design, it's creativity, it's usability, it's making them user friendly. So it will not only like people will see them and they'll read them. So this is Petal. I'm here from real Petal credit builders as opposed to fake Petal credit builders. But in this case, you see the testimonials about simplicity, about the process was refreshing, you're building the credit, and then there's actually a CTA for more testimonials. So if people don't see themselves in one of these 3, then there's the option to look at more. Again, this is another testimonial. I think this is instantly as well. I just love what they did on their website. And essentially, this is a real person with a real title. CEO is a great testimonial if you can get it. And so a really nice testimonial with the bold highlighted of what people want to stand out. And this guy looks like a happy guy. Like he's a happy person because instantly has helped him do what he needs to do. Really nice example of that. This is Ahrefs, which is interesting because if you look at it from a design perspective, it looks cheesy. It looks like, I don't know, 1980s sort of Corel Draw kind of design. But what I like about it from the design point of view is that depending on your vertical, you'll get a testimonial that's relevant or that's relevant to you. So in this case, it's enterprise, but you could have also shown agency or content marketers or SaaS. So it's another way of the usability hack in terms of trying to make your testimonials as personalized as possible so people can see and hear people who look like them, who have the same aspirations that they do. And then we'll talk a little bit about call to actions here. So it's obviously you get people through your website, they get all this information about the benefits and the features and how it works for them. And then you want people to do something because obviously you want them to take a next step. That's the whole purpose of the website. You want to educate them, but you also want to engage them and you need to tell them what you want them to do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be learn more or get a demo. There's lots of different ways that you can skin a cat, but you definitely have to tell somebody. Best practices would be more around clear guidance on what's going to happen next. So learn more is good, but it could be see how we can improve your productivity or see how we can 10 times your leads. There has to be some kind of promise or some kind of action item that you want people to do. Multiple CTAs, but also be cognizant of the fact that you don't want to pepper your website with 10 CTAs. Definitely one at the near the top in the hero image, maybe one in the middle and one at the bottom. At a minimum of like 3, because you can't assume people are going to scroll through your entire homepage. And different intent, right? Obviously, it can't be all get a demo, but it could be read a case study, sign up for a newsletter, learn more, and then some action words. Now, today, unlock, discover, start, and make your buttons prominent so they stand out. So here, this is Boomerang, which is ability to track. You can track emails, but also schedule and add this to your Gmail. That's the way that the application works. So if you want to do calendar scheduling, and the next action, what they're saying is that here's what you need to do next. Pretty simple, right? Pretty straightforward. Trello, sign up, it's free. It's free for Trello. Obviously, it's a paid version, but it's essentially they want to make it as easy as possible, as accessible as possible. So free is a great takeaway here. This is FreshBooks, and this is another way that you can actually use a CTA to encourage people to do something. So in this case, it's more around a limited time offer. So it doesn't necessarily have to be get a demo or learn more. It can be buy now and save. So there's an element of FOMO here that they've added. So if you act now, you get 70% off for 4 months, but then they add a clock here and there's a button where you can buy right away. So you can actually get people to make a purchase right away. You don't necessarily have to dance around before you ask them to do what you want. Zapier, obviously it's an automation application. So it's basically start for free with email. So you enter your email, or you can start with Google. So basically they want you to register as quickly as possible. So they're telling you, here's what you need. Here's what the application does. And now you can get started. So do this and we'll get going if you really like what we're doing. And then this is a woman who does personal finance, and she's asking people to sign up for her newsletter. And it's, instead of sign up for her newsletter, it's get my goodies. A little creativity here to get them going. Okay, so then this is more of a, you can volunteer for this or not, but it's a rapid fire round. So if you want me to take a look at your website and give you like a 15, 20-second snapshot of what I think, you can put your URL in the chat, and then I can take a look at it. People can also enter their URL into their browsers, and I can give you some advice on that. And Mitch had a comment. Number one value of testimonials is to validate to your prospect that you deliver on the promise you make. It's a place for current users who were once struggling with the challenges your prospects are, say, this was a smart decision. So really good advice from that. And again, testimonials matter, and people believe them and they want to see them. Okay, so we've got Kia has appcinco.com. All right. So my thoughts on AppCinco would be, okay, first thing that jumps out is about us at the top of the page. I think if people want to go there and follow with me, it's appsinco.com. So there's that top bar, not quite sure. Actually, I like the CTAs on the side. Book a meeting, ask for a contact us if that's the CTAs that you want. Not really a big fan of different headlines that scroll in and out. I find them very distracting. And to be honest with you, the white text against that white shirt in the background with that lab tech, like you're basically trying to squeeze a lot into a small area of space. And my advice to you would be to basically come up with a very straightforward value proposition. And then you can tell people as you go down the website what they do. So as you go down this website, the services are, you've got a consulting service and you've got software. Okay, that sounds good. You got testimonials, which are good, and blog posts. So what's missing from here is the what's in it for me. So you're consultants, compliance consultants, but I'm not exactly sure why you matter to me. So what are the benefits of using your service? So you told me you've got consulting services and you've got software. That's great, but I don't understand what I get. Like, why do you matter to me as opposed to somebody else? And then the value proposition is all over the place. It's very distracting. So anyway, some quick and down and dirty advice on that. I hope that helps. If you want any more advice, you can reach out to me later. Chris got neofinancial.com, and that's neofinancial.com. The way money should be, smart accounts and tools that make life simple. I suspect this is a bank. I'm guessing, but if it is a bank, I'd probably be a little more obvious about what this is, or whether it's financial tool set. I'd have to go in. So if I look into this, you guys are, you're a bank. Okay. So I didn't get that from your homepage that you're a bank. And it looks like you're a credit card. Actually, if I look at that, it looks like a MasterCard. So that would be, okay. So all your finances in one place. So below the hero image, they've got 3 benefits: spend, save, earn. So some of the use cases, some of the ways that people could use the product. That's good. And then below that, then they've got the features here with make your money smarter, earn rewards your way. So I like the graphics. Really like the graphics here about showing your product. Not a big fan of the keep your money safe. There's a picture of a woman with her iPhone and a cup of coffee, and she looks really happy. I guess she's happy because her money's safe. Probably prefer an image of the product. And then you've got your CTA, join 1 million Canadians using Neo with your CTA. Okay, not bad. Maybe I would say that your hero messaging needs to be clearer about what you do, because I'm not sure from the outside looking in what you do. Then the comment about Absconia from Claudia was, I'm in the middle of rendering the website for a client, as it has all the errors you mentioned. I would love your input once the new version is ready. Yeah, definitely, Claudia. You can circle back with me. Happy to help. But obviously, you've got a big job to do because that website's not very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Rapid fire round. We got about 10 minutes before I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. But if you want me to look at your website now, happy to do that. If you're a little bit shy, you can always circle back with me via email, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me that you want a website analysis. I'd happily take a look at it. I'll send you a short Loom video with my thoughts, totally free. Happy to do it. I love doing this kind of stuff. obviously do that if you want. So any more? No? Okay. One more I've got. So it's Jonas Consulting, Jonas Construction. Protect your profits. So this is Jonas, Jonas, as in the Jonas Brothers, construction.com. Construction accounting software built to protect your profits. Protect your profits, cost overruns are a reality. So it's pretty obvious about what this product is and what the benefits are and the problems that they're solving. Full suite of integrated construction software solutions for mechanical and specialty contractors to drive the automation of. Yeah, not bad. Social proof here. I probably want to see some of your customers here. You've got 14,000 users. Probably want to see some of your customers. I don't know whether your customers. These are Capterra industry publications. Okay, need for below the fold, a need for a different approach. Probably the different approach is basically that every construction project has cost overruns, and this software is designed to do that. So I'd probably want to make that a little more prominent in terms of the messaging. And then it's got, just in terms of the features, automated accounting and payroll, project management for software construction. And then it's got the features here below in terms of what the product does. So it's pretty good, pretty good. I guess it's a little design is not terribly inspiring, but it may be the target audience in terms of people who work for construction companies. They just want something straightforward, but it has all the elements there. So yeah, I think it would pass the sniff test. So that's good. And one more. This is called HiCue, HICUE, speakers.com. So Mitch said just about Jonas Construction, in line with your points, not bad, need more customers. Yeah, that's definitely. So HiCue, let's go to the English version because my Spanish isn't very good. See if I not having a problem getting to the English version. But okay, here we're celebrating 20 years of, okay, so HiCue speakers. Okay, the homepage messaging of HiCue, I have no idea what this company does. And the homepage messaging is we're celebrating 20 years of ideas, knowledge, and inspiration. I have no idea. And it's a little critique. Your inspiration is spelled wrong, or maybe it doesn't mean the thing. But I have no idea what this company does. I guess I'd have to click. Oh, and then I click over, and it's bringing top speakers to global audiences. That's probably your most relevant value proposition. And then underneath the fold, you have the speakers who open minds. So you totally go into your speakers. But I think there's just something about, so why HiCue speakers? Below the fold, what do you guys, why would someone use you versus somebody else? So that's my down and dirty on that as well. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for volunteering. As I said, if you want some feedback, happy to do it. And then I just want to end this with tools, just to give you a sort of a list of tools that you have, and I'll share the presentation with you. Just in terms of, a lot of these tools are pretty obvious or are pretty well known. Obviously, Google Analytics. There's another one that I didn't put on here that's actually caught my attention recently. It's called Fathom, Fathom. If you want an alternative to Google, definitely check it out. It's a Canadian company, I believe out of Vancouver, doing really well. And I just want to check here. I think their shtick is that privacy first platform. So worth checking out if you want an alternative to Google. Hotjar and Crazy Egg, obviously, if you want heat maps and just to know what people are doing once they hit your website. Ultimately, Unbalanced WVO for A/B testing. There's a bunch of SEO tools, Moz, SEMrush. You could add Ahrefs to that. Speed matters. We didn't talk about speed, but the faster your website, the homepage loads, the more success you're going to have. Usability Hub for usability. Another company to check out is SenseCheck. If you want people to feedback on your website or marketing, it's a platform of marketing professionals that will give you feedback. Figma, not a classic homepage design tool, but collaboration, and then Browser Stack. Excuse me. Any questions? You can ask questions now, or you can ask questions via email. Happy to do that. Covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. If you got something pressing that you want me to answer now, happy to do that, or I can do that later. And then the last thing would be, or two last things. One is if you're looking for help to refresh your website, your homepage, or you know someone who wants to refresh their homepage with better positioning, messaging, copy, wireframes, you can definitely check the service that I offer. It's a 3 to 4 week process, and it's really designed to optimize your website in a very agile and quick way. So worth checking out if you want to check it out later. And then finally, on June 7th, I'm be doing another workshop on how to create an engaging B2B SaaS about page. And so you're on my list now, so I'll send you information about that. And if you want to contact me, this is where you can get in touch. So thank you for coming. Really appreciate you taking part of your Friday. I appreciate the people who actually came back after last week's misstep.